I mean, it's we're still busy. Still got practice and got a tough schedule ahead of us. But I think having all of our staff retained, all of our full-time staff, most of our support staff, it's a little bit easier to your day-to-day operation, so to speak, in terms of just how we're going to practice, where we're going to practice, what it's going to look like. From top to bottom. So that part's been a little bit easier. Obviously, the challenges come in the nature of the changes that continually happen in college football. So I feel like if it's not one thing, it's another. I'm working to learn about and change and grow with as I continue my career as a head coach.
How much of your time, how much of your attention has shifted away from, let's just say, the X's and the O's to managing a roster?
Yeah, a lot more than I had envisioned. I knew it was important to, have your hands in the, your roster and all that. But now it's an everyday thing you're trying to deal with. You got to try to keep players happy and keep them involved, and it's ever changing too. Like new rule potentially coming out today about only one portal window, so. That changes dynamics too. So, you live and learn, and you just keep plugging ahead. And because what happens, you got to have a plan. I mean, you can't go in this thing blind. You got to figure out if there's no more spring portal window. It's only in December. Your signing dates are December and January, and then they've changed the scholarship limits, and you're trying to figure out how many scholarships you have and how many roster spots you have, and they don't know yet. And that's 4 months from now. We got to sign players. So. It's just a lot.
Yeah. Of course, one of the major turnovers for you, quarterback position. Grayson is gone, but he was hurt some last year, so you worked some other quarterbacks in. Your competition here in the offseason through spring and fall camp for your starting quarterback job, how would you assess that?
It's been a great battle. I think it's a very talented room. Obviously, when you lose Grayson McCall, he's such a tremendous football player, and the things that he's done for Coastal Carolina over the years and this program and the school are going to be unmatched. And it's going to be hard to ever replace a guy like Grayson, and certainly wish him all the best. But, Ethan Vasco, Noah Kim, Tad Hudson, DJ Moore, they've done a great job for us as, probably one of the best rooms in terms of improvement from spring to fall, from top to bottom. I've been very pleased with the group and have done a really good job. And, I think it's great I've seen it on our football team this year by having a lot more hunger, guys battling for positions and jobs. The competition has been very, very severe so far this fall camp.
Coach, you talked about roster turnover. You brought in a lot of new players and new players to the program, but how much did the trip to Raleigh, because you had to avoid the tropical storm hurricane, getting an opportunity to practice up there, how much did you use that as maybe a team bonding exercise as much as practice?
Yeah, a little bit of that too, right? I mean, certainly that's been a focal point of ours, right? We've tried to create different exercises, different events, different speakers, whatever it may be, to bring this group together, because the close football team is going to win games at the end. We're not going to be able to be in the huddle for them. They got to play for each other. And so I like where we're at there. I think our guys have worked to get to know each other. Now, granted, you could create chaos for them, but when true adversity hits, we'll see. We'll see where we're at. That part I don't know, and a lot of people don't know that either.
Phil asked you about the quarterback competition. You've also got pretty good competition battles going on at wide receiver. Where is that going out of camp heading into next week with Jacksonville State on the horizon?
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot. I think we got, 2.5 more. When I say half, meaning one of them is kind of a lighter practice, but we still got probably 2.5, and there's still guys battling for playing time, starting spots on units. I think you're going to see a lot of players play these first couple of weeks to see who can do what, because we're still learning them too. At the end of the day, we're going to have, there was 44 summer guys, right? So we'll have 44 guys that practice 24 days, and so there's a lot more football in them than just 24 days. So we're going to learn a lot about them as the season goes.
How about defensively? How much rebuilding over there or readjusting are you having to do with your defensive side?
Not as much, at least in terms of some of the first guys, the starters, guys that have kind of separated themselves a little bit. A lot of those guys have played a lot of football here for us last year, be it as a backup, be it as a starter. Some guys were special teams guys and worked their way into quite a bit of playing time. So there's some little more veteran experience maybe defensively. But we're still new. I think we carry 19 D linemen and 15 of them are new. So we're still figuring those guys out, who's going to be able to do what, and it's funny. Everybody's all excited about the season. Can't wait to see what our team's going to be like. I'm the same way. I can't wait either. Can't wait to see where we're like.
Your first run through the Sun Belt last season, what did you make of that? What do you think of what was your opinion of the level of competition you were facing week in and week out?
Yeah, I mean, great conference, great coaches, very, very talented players. You got to come every week to win and to play well, because anybody can beat anybody, and it showed. By the end of the year, you saw 12 of the 14 teams make bowl games, and like I said, anybody could beat anybody at any given time. And I think it'll be that way again this year. Injuries play a big part in it. When you lose guys that marquee players, you might take a step or take a hit here and there where you didn't count on that as you look at the schedule. But it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a great race. We're excited about it. We're very eager and excited to get the season started.
You talked about the potential rule change with regards to a portal window shutting down in the spring. Let's talk about one we do know, and that's the new helmet technology. How much has that helped your offense, and especially looking at Jacksonville State and Coach, how fast they ran their tempo last year? How much will that help your defense trying to keep up with them on the field?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a learning curve. That's another learning curve for a lot of coaches, right? Having that technology and the ability to talk to one player on offense and one player on defense when you're on the field up until 15 seconds, and then it shuts off and you can't talk to them. So, we practice it, we work with it. We're still ironing out some of the kinks, as everybody is, in terms of different scenarios that could potentially take place. But, you see us following a lot of the NFL model. It wouldn't surprise me here in a couple of years that we're just a mini NFL system per se, in terms of exactly how they do everything from collective bargaining to free agents to contracts to no spring ball and so on and so forth. So I think it's heading in that direction, as much as the universities and presidents and a lot of NCAA doesn't want that to happen. I just feel like there's lawsuits and people that want it to happen. So. But yeah, there's a lot of 2-minute warning. I mean, all kind of new stuff going on. So yeah, we're dealing with it and practicing with it, and sometimes there's too much information being said. All you do is cloudy a player's mind. Sometimes you just got to let them play football.
Yeah. You mentioned the NFL model. You're thinking about including preseason games?
Who knows? There has been talk about that actually in the spring, to be honest.
Would you like that?
Not really. No. It just gives, depending on who you play, it just gives teams opportunity to pick your players more.
All right, so as we look out from your office, beautiful stadium, new scoreboard across the way, the indoor facility, you got to love what's happening around you.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's been awesome. President Benson, Chance Miller, our CAF, CAF, and Wagner, all the people involved and helping continue just to have this great vision of what Coastal Carolina can become. And it's every day I come to work and I see those guys out there, God bless them, they are working their tails off on that thing. It is going up fast, and it is big, and it is pretty. And looking forward to getting there. Our players smile every day when they see it, knowing that, they can see progress, right? And, you have the ribbon board, the new scoreboard, the things that Chance Miller is going to bring to game day experience and to our fans, and what this place is going to become, and the vision that he has is second to none. And it's exciting to be here. I love being here. I love our players. They're excited being here, and we're looking forward, again, just a great year. Can't wait to get started.